Hello and welcome back to a brand new Player 2 Plays. My name is Paul James and today we are playing Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Thank you very much to Xbox for providing us with this code that is going to help fuel this Player 2 Plays and a review which you will find on Player 2 in the near future. As for now, we are going to dive into the beginning of the game. So you can see I've already started myself, I've only put just shy of half an hour into it. We're going to dive into an empty slot here so we can visit the very beginning of the game. You can see we've got some different difficulty modes. We've got easy mode for those who just want to focus on the story, the normal, which is how we'll play, and then a hard mode, which is probably good because there was certainly some overly hard components to the first game there, especially those escape sequences that were quite brutal and upset quite a few people. If you played the first game, you know how beautiful it looked, and this is nothing short of phenomenal. So there's little Ori, starting to encounter some of his friends, laying the foundations for just some basic platforming here. Now remember, the original Ori was an incredibly sad game, and I think we should all probably brace for a similar sort of experience here with the sequel. One of the things I'd certainly wondered post the completion of the first game and when the sequel was revealed is how were they going to kind of undo, I guess, what was done at the end of the first game, which basically was there was total peace on the island. As you'll see shortly, they explain it quite simply, quite easily. That little coup here, gonna get some little lessons, he's got to grow up a little bit. Ori slacking off, as was the case in the first game, before those horrible events took place. Now, if you're not familiar with Ori, and this is your first time playing the game or experiencing the game in any way, shape or form, I should kind of point out that the game is essentially a Metroidvania at its core, though not as hardcore as traditional Metroidvania games. So you can see Ku's dodgy wing. It's a pivotal part in what is to come. And in spite of that, you can obviously with the dodgy wing, you can see where this might be headed. She can't fly properly. Go on, Ori. We'll go chase after her. Even at its most somber and sad, it's still just a stunning game. Visually. And on the ears. Speaking of which, thank you Razer for this fantastic new headset, the Razer Kraken Ultimate. You can find a review of that on the Player 2 website. And this is kind of a simple little thing there in the past, so going back, it's that, you know, for anyone who's not familiar with the genre, it's this kind of, okay, you can backtrack. It's not one way. It's not a Mario platformer where you're going left to right. It's there's actually the ability to retrace your steps. Kuro was one of those big owl species from the last game, and we're going to get a brief opportunity to experiment with the mechanics. So we can see we've got this hover, this flying ability. Basically demonstrates what we're looking to achieve here through this sequence. Wake up, Jeff. There we go. Looks good. Some basic flight. Shame there's some obstacles in the way, but it also gives us a double jump. And here lies, this moment here is basically what sets the stage for the entirety of the experience from this point on. It's been a nice positive start so far. We've got nice and comfortable with everything. Thankfully it doesn't look like we're going to have a really sad, somber start in the form of a death like what we did in the last game. Still so hard to believe that this is made up from a team, Moon Studios, who have members scattered all across the world. They're not based together. They're scattered everywhere, and they kind of do everything remotely and put it all together somehow and create, as far as I'm concerned, Ori and the Blind Forest 2015's probably second best game behind The Witcher 3. It's a Phenomenal game, and this is going to be right up there in contention in another very crowded year for very high profile, presumably excellent releases. Final Fantasy, Last of Us, Cyberpunk, Ghost of Tsushima, and God knows what else comes out. Doom, Resident Evil. This will be right up there. Presumably. So they found their way to a new island, which kind of answered my question as to how or why are we back in this state? What's happened to the island we're on? It's because we're not on the same one. Now we're into the real Ori. Though, as you'll find in a second, we don't have any offensive abilities just yet, so it is kind of survive for a brief period. But even from my limited time in the game, there is that offensive side. There is the escape sequences like what we've seen before. There's still the challenge, even on normal mode, not hard, there's still challenge to be found. Everything you loved about the original Ori seems to be present, and hopefully remains so throughout the entire experience, but I'll be able to report more on that when the review goes live in a few days from now. So you can see we've got our little orbs down the bottom here. They're still present. Don't know how I'm going to get there through that kind of purple, looks, poisonous. Actually, we'll go right. No, we'll go left. We'll explore again. So you've got the map here. That's just mapped to the, I don't know, what do we even call these buttons on the Xbox? The one with the two little boxes on it. We'll call it the select button. We can kind of look through that. We can check out our various spirit shards, which of course we don't have any yet, and inventory. And there's quite a lot of inventory slots. Now some of these will be collectibles, I have no doubt, but there's lots there to actually scoop up and collect, so look out for that. And yeah, we've only explored 1% of the Inkwater Marsh. See that thing, I can't take that out, so Life Orb, which is great. Oh, always worth exploring the environment. There'll be little things to collect like that life shard, because that's not even the way I'm supposed to go to actually progress. Oh damn it, didn't see that. See, we can. There's a new region for us to go off and explore, the Luma Pools, which there's nothing really we can do with in this region at the moment. There's this we can collect here. So life cell fragments, yeah, as it breeds there, you can collect more, increase your health. But there's really not a lot that we can do in this section of the map at present. We just don't have any way to counter that thing that was throwing shit at us. So we'll get out of here. We'll drop back down safely, and we'll scoot to the right side of the map where we can actually progress narratively. And so that bit of progression, that's reflected on the map there. So Inkwater Marsh, clearly we didn't stray far enough into the pools there to actually register that as an official location that I can visit. Some health. Got some extra shards, the spirit light containers. You can see on top of the right corner we had 50 there. We've got certain things that we can't get through. They'll be accessible later on. Again, that's the nature of the Metroidvania, that you can kind of retrace your steps and access things that you couldn't access previously because you've now got new tools or skills or abilities that will help you actually reach those previously out of reach spots. I can't get that. Presumably I will later with a double jump or something like that. Drop down, have a bit of a look down here. So another enemy, nothing we can do, but we can collect this torch, and that gives us a temporary weapon. So as you can see, the spirit light orbs can be traded to friendly creatures for items and upgrades. So when we find the relevant parties, we'll absolutely do that. He's not dead. Why aren't you dead? Restore his energy. Don't think we can smash our way through that. No, but we can smash our way to the left here. Because with the right tools, you can break through certain parts of the environment. Leap over. All to speak to Tok.
What? Are you Tangelo?
No, we're not Moki. Or a Moki.
Toran. Atan? Anugsam. Yotona Nuj. Naragutim. Jinshelo Tush Atan. Oh, he gets.
So the keystones, they were a big part of the last game as well. They were kind of necessary to progress through certain doors. Without them, you're not going anywhere.
Mira.
Alright, we'll continue. We'll scoop those up. There is still the need for really precision platforming at times. And in the good way. It's not brutal, it's not unfair, but you do need to demonstrate a degree of ability. Here's our first kind of proper enemy. And you'll see very quickly that he can do some damage. Well, there we go. Like it's not an easy ride, in fact. I've only got a couple hits now. Oof. Don't die. There we go. There we go, that little part's unlocked. We're going to lose access to our torch, I think, with that water there. Yep, there it goes. So now all of a sudden I'm vulnerable to this little pleb that I was able to do with fairly easily a moment ago. So we'll drift over here. Okay. So there's our keystone that we need to collect. And then we can go back to Tok, give him that half, or present to him that half. He'll give us the other half. I just got to make sure not to kill myself in the process. There we go.
Oh, Yotona Nush. Oh, Mira.
It is a keystone, you see.
Oh, no, Mira. Eza Uji. One. Oh, no. Ani Nugsam.
His comments about bang on point. We don't really have any proper direction yet. We just know that we've been separated from Ku, and all things going well, they find each other. You can see down the bottom there, and I haven't even unlocked them myself yet, but well, all of them myself yet. There's 3 different slots there for different kind of abilities or skills or weapons. As you'll see by the time we get to the end of the video, we will have one of them. There's nothing else to do with Tok at the moment. We'll probably end up taking a hit in Karki at the moment. The checkpointing is fairly reasonable, I've found so far. I've died a couple times, so we can see this fairly large creature in the background there. He's about to cause us some headaches and be responsible for our first little escape sequence, which, as I said before, big part of the original Ori. They were quite brutal, not easy at all. Is there anything we can find down here? Nothing right now. Alright, full health, which will be useful because the chase is on. Now, precision platforming is super important. Look at how close it gets. He actually managed to get a hit in there too. Now that one was scripted. Now we've got ourselves a torch again. This little hidey hole. Ah, you gotta hit it. Oh, another one too. Man, I'm not getting close enough. Then I got too close. Gotta get those jumps, the placement just right, so that I don't take any damage from getting inside his hitbox in that collision space. There we go. That's him dealt with. Duck down here. Explore the scene. But of course, we had to rush. We bounced over here. The path collapsed. We couldn't get in there before. Now we can. Oh. Again, revisit our map. Still all part of Inkwater Marsh. We've explored 22% of it, but we're in a different region of the map. And actually, it shows us. So we've got a shard here. If I zoom in, we've got a shard here. There's some more collectibles around. There's other key indicators on the map as well in the other regions that we've previously visited. So it shows there's a lot to do. It's not a ridiculous, overwhelming amount. We're not talking, big RPG, The Witcher style sort of thing here, presumably. Let's get over here. You might remember these from the last game. These rare opportunities to access some of these different abilities and skills and weapons and tools. God, this game's beautiful. I just can't get over how good it looks and how good it sounds. They've discovered the island, so it makes me thinking, you saw my save game before, I was only like 27 minutes in the game. We've been going for about 24, 25 minutes now. Makes me think that maybe they're going to find their way to the island as well, and they'll kind of get themselves wrapped up in the events of what's going on here. As we find Ku and presumably get involved in some larger mystery. Yeah, there's our Spirit Edge. We can assign it, so you can see there's going to be a whole bunch of different abilities that'll be mapped to this ring here. The Spirit Edge is all we've got at the moment. We'll assign that to X. And we will see. So there's our... We now finally have a weapon. And you can obviously flick that to, you know, map it differently if that's what you require. So I personally will keep that map to X. It makes a bit more sense. Don't feel the need to rush through as you're taking enemies out. Well, at least at this early stage, there'll be certain junctures, I'm sure, where you probably just need to hit and run. Collect all these shards. Collect anything that might pop up. Collect anything that might pop up because it'll all be useful. It's all currency at the end of the day. Can't quite reach. There we go. Magnet, you've obtained a new spirit shard. Press thing to equip orbs float to Ori from further away. That's definitely a really handy one to have. There we go, see they're attracted to Ori now. Really handy, I think, one to have equipped probably at all times. Unless you really need, presumably some extra health or extra defense or something like that. But there's obviously tons and tons of these different shards to equip. But it's going to be really great in the sense that collecting up those orbs at every point, you don't have to get really fine and walk every point. You get close enough, you scoop them up. Go to the Guardian of the Marsh. And that is, and I think we've seen this Quolock in the trailer. I think he's that giant frog-like thing in the debut trailer. But we'll visit him another time. So, that is where we are going to wrap up Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to like, share and subscribe. All the buttons down below. Hit the notification bell, that way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes Patched, The Insider, more Player 2 plays, hopefully dedicated to some awesome games just like Ori. Visit the website player2.net.au where you'll find reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series Patched, which I mentioned in video. It's also in audio. The Player 2 Pixelcast, which is up and running for 2020 and flying, and Dev Diary, where we've had some fantastic guests in the recent weeks and months. So go and subscribe to all of those podcasts, give them 5-star reviews. It helps with exposure, helps to get more people with their eyes and ears on the shows, and we'd really, really appreciate that. We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au, kicking a few bucks. At the lower tiers, you'll get early access to episodes. At the higher tiers, monthly episode exclusives. Finally, there's Twitter. You can find me at Paul James Games. The website you'll find at player2au. And until next time, thank you very much again to Xbox for providing me and Player2 with a code for Ori and the Will of the Wisps. It's been a fantastic start. I can't wait to dive into it more and then bring you a review of the game in a few short days. Until that point, thank you very much for watching. Cheers.